Yeah, and it goes beyond the just cherishing the legacy, but really paying attention to what they're suggesting, that the only way out of this is to explore what they have explored, to perhaps slow the whole process of perception down so that we can see for ourselves what's going on. Unless that happens, we can see the trouble we're in.
We're prisoners of our thoughts.
Absolutely.
We're not free.
So a little more than a week ago, I had been literally exploring this on my own. You know that. And I found out that I had, there was this 5-minute excerpt of the videotaped conversation I had with David Bohm in Amsterdam. Someone found it on an old website of mine and put it up on YouTube, unbeknownst to me. And apparently it happened about 2 or 3 years ago. And in the interim, there are over 55,000 unsolicited hits on that particular 5-minute clip. What attracted them to it was the name David Bohm, because it says, the way it's called David Bohm on Perception. I realized then that there are at least 2 generations since David and Krishnamurti were in dialogue that have been born, who have become interested in one form or another in the work of David Bohm, because that's what attracted them. So what I did was I took, rather than just allowing the 5 minutes, I took the 1-hour conversation, put it up on the website, and created a website to put it up. I've had it up there for about perhaps 3 months now. I have gotten visits from over 60 countries, thousands of people attracted, and I titled it Beyond Limits, a tribute to David Bohm. So suddenly there is this deep, deep interest in David Bohm. And we're on the cusp of a whole new something, I don't know what. And as I said, I was doing this alone until a week ago. You called me and said, I saw your website, we have to get together. And you invited me to New York. We've been here, how long? What, 4 days, 5 days?
4 days now, yes.
Well, I should tell whoever's watching to live within the whirlwind of Taher. Taher's life is quite an extraordinary experience. He's spoken very little about himself, but he lives a life that is filled to every moment of it is filled, and yet he never loses sight of what we're talking about. There is a fundamental, somehow, and in fact I know how it happened because he told me about it, and we won't go into it today, but something happened to him that touched him to the core. And what that something was Krishnamurti and David Bohm. So if there's any question in anyone's mind about the passion that leads this man's life all around the world, know from my own, again, personal experience that we have an extraordinary young man here, and watch out, world, watch out.
Thank you very much. I would like to conclude that the task is not easy. I'm very happy to know that there's a lot of interest to David Bohm.
Oh yeah.
But I also have to say a lot of those interests is, again, a lot of people trying to intellectualize
Very much so.
his genius theories of quantum physics and his vision. But again, the question is, I ask to people who are studying David Bohm and are ignoring Krishnamurti and David Bohm's later work of consciousness is this. So now you know all these theories. What changed in your life? And that question is what inspires all of us, despite at this age, at your age, despite at,
What do you mean? Now, wait a minute. I'm not that old. I
No,
just
no.
look old.
despite all the years, despite I've been studying it for 14 years now, despite all these years of my involvement with this book, we still go back to study the book, to study the dialogues, because the thought process is so subtle. To see its movement through this beautiful poetry of dialogue, I think is our only hope.
Right, and
of
in fact,
being free
the
from-
project that
from thought.
the project that we have discussed, I title "A Passion for Clarity."
Passion for clarity.
A Passion for Clarity, the Krishnamurti David Bohm dialogues in perspective, because very few people understand that when taken in their entirety, there is a continuity that is extraordinary. Each of those dialogues can stand on their own, and yet there is this immense movement, much like the movement of a symphony, if you will. You know, once you get into it and start moving from dialogue to dialogue through almost 30 years, and then to the Ojai seminars of Bohm, it's Mozart. It really is.
Bill, I want to thank you for joining me, for accepting my invitation,
Well,
for
thank
these
you.
long hours of conversation. It's been great to know you, and I look forward to working with you and to walk a very, very interesting journey, a journey of our own self-discovery, as well as sharing that journey with others. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, sir.